Hi, everyone. I'm coming on today to address the second issue that was in the poll that I did of one of the main reasons why people choose not to start an online business, or one of the things that is holding them back. And that is the feeling that they don't have the skills or the knowledge to start. And I understand that this can be very overwhelming. You may have sort of read a little bit of different things here and there. Maybe other people have said, oh, you should focus on this. This is important. You should focus on that. That's important. You should focus on this other thing. That's important. And, it can leave a person feeling like, I don't know where to start. It's like everything seems to be important. But the thing is, you can only do one thing at a time. No matter what it is you're starting, you can only do one thing at a time. Try and do multiple things, and that's going to create struggle, because when you can't put focus on anything in particular, once you get really good at something, then you don't have to think about it as much. It's kind of like with riding a bicycle when you're or learning to drive. When you're learning to do those things, you're trying to remember all the little steps and pieces of information and rules and all of these different things. How to use the shift stick, how to use the brake and gas pedal, how to follow the rules of the road. And there's all of these different things that you're thinking. Or with the bike, it's like, trying to keep your balance and trying not to look down at your feet while you're doing it, all that kind of thing. It feels very difficult when you first start, because there's all these little things. But eventually it smooths out, because if you've learned how to ride a bicycle, you probably don't really think about it. Hopefully you pay attention to the rules of the road, but but as for the actual technique of riding a bicycle, you just hop on and go now, right? Same with driving a car. It doesn't require the mental capacity to think about every little step. But when you're starting a business as well, it's kind of the same thing. It's like there's all these little ins and outs and little details and that need to be learned. And that can seem very, very overwhelming, especially when you have no clear guidance, at least, of where to actually start. So I just want to talk a little bit about generally what is involved with setting up an online business. And I'm focusing on the digital marketing aspect, not any other type of online business. And I've mentioned it before, but first, you need to find a product that you want to promote. If you don't even know what it is that you would want to promote, none of the other steps even matter. That's your first step. So do a search for different types of digital products, whether it's in the spiritual arena, the health arena, the fitness arena, the education arena, whatever it is that speaks to you. And, there is digital products in all of those different things. And I'm sure there's like a wide variety of industries where you can also find digital products. So you just need to look and find what resonates with you. Like, what would you actually love to use? What would you actually find to be a benefit to yourself? Because if it's not something you would ever want to use, why would you want to sell it? I've made that mistake myself. I played in the MLM world a little bit here and there, and tried different things. But I finally clued in that I cannot, for myself anyways, I cannot sell something or promote something that I don't love or that I can't completely stand behind. So I have to really completely know the value of it. So once you've decided on that, and ideally, or well, not ideally, but my recommendation is to find something that has master resale rights, because then that means that when you purchase that product, that means you are able to resell it for 100% profit. Okay, so there's no middleman, there's no upline, there's no downline, there's none of that. And then, but if you find that cost for you might be a little too high, then you might want to look for something that has a different level of the resale rights. Your basic resale rights will still allows you to resell it, but you don't get 100% profit. It's a percentage. So maybe that would be the first thing to look at as well, is just research the different resale rights so that you have an understanding of what the benefit and challenges are of each. So once you've done that and you've chosen your digital product or products, then you need to consider, well, what social media platforms am I going to promote this on? You could choose just one to focus on, or you could have a few. For myself, because I already had accounts, I'm focusing on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, although not as much because I'm not that big a fan of Instagram. And YouTube are the main ones, but I'm considering looking at Pinterest as well. So, just consider the different social media platforms and see which ones you like, which ones you'd want to work with. Then you have to identify who your ideal customer is. Who is it that you want to work with? Who do you feel like you can speak to? Because if you are trying to talk to corporate professionals and you have no connection with that world, you're going to have a really difficult time because you have no real understanding of their world. So the basic suggestion is to work from a version of yourself. So either where you currently are when you're starting this journey, that's a possibility, or it could maybe be a slightly earlier version of yourself. So you want to consider your ideal customers' problems, challenges, vision, needs, desires, and figure out their demographics and their psychographics. Then you need to choose and set up a domain name, because you do need a website. It's pretty difficult. Well, for it to really work, you need to have some kind of a funnel system, and a funnel system needs to be connected to a website. So you might have to, if you're doing this on your own, you might have to get a website and a domain. together. So the domain name, which is basically your website address, you want to create a name that is easy to say, easy to remember, easy to spell, but also is a reflection of you, as well as being connected to what it is you're promoting. Now, ChatGPT can help you with this. I use ChatGPT to assist me with creating my domain name. And, there's other AI platforms as well, so you could consider them to do this as well. And then you need to decide whether you're going to use a professional email account or not. Many of us have Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail or, these different free accounts. And while that is a possibility, the challenge that is occurring right now is that a lot of these emails are being put into spam because they're getting filtered as looking like they are spam. So when you have a professional email, that is reduced by a great percentage. So it is recommended to have a professional email. So if you got your website and your domain, then you need to find a system, an automated system that you can use. Because that's what makes this whole thing work, is having an automated system. Otherwise, you end up doing a business where you're having to spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into it. The automated system is designed so that it can do work even when you're not working. So an example that you could use for an automated system is system.io. And this is the system that our program is through. And the automated system has a funnel. It has a capture page, which is then followed by a description and information page. It's got your email automation. So you can set up, you can pre-create and set up your emails so that it automatically goes to people who have opted in. And then you've got your payment setups, because they need to have some way to pay you, right? Now, that all sounds too difficult for you. You can choose to learn how to do all of that. There's probably courses out there, maybe through Udemy. That's the one I was trying to think of. Udemy, or maybe other platforms like that, where you could learn how to do something like that. Or maybe the platform itself has possibly a training or information section to help walk you through that. But if you find tech very, very challenging, then you might want to consider hiring somebody for that. Next, you have to consider your digital marketing campaign. So you have to discover and learn how to create effective content and connect with your ideal audience. Consider inviting them to things like webinars or other types of events that is going to allow them to ask you questions, and is going to entice them to want to opt in to get more details, which then puts them into your email list, so then they get the automated emails that you created. So these emails are intended to nurture anyone who opts in. And then you've got newsletters or other types of connection emails that you can use as well that will help to continue nurturing. So the email sequence nurtures whoever opts in for a certain number of emails. So maybe it might be a series of 8 emails or something like that. And then you have to consider your other emails, your other newsletter or connection emails, and that to maintain that connection, because you want to keep, even if these people opt in and choose not to buy right away, you want them to be keeping you at top of mind, unless of course they decide that they're not interested and then they unsubscribe, which is a possibility. So I have faith that you have the ability to learn these skills. Yes, it can be a bit of a challenge, especially when you're trying to figure out how to do it on your own and you're having to go to different sources to figure out all of these different steps. And maybe you might be somebody who doesn't like to research how to do this kind of stuff, or maybe you find researching to be a challenge because you don't know exactly what to look for. Again, AI can be really helpful with this, because unlike Google, where you had to like have certain keywords to put in, which, you know, I often find with Google, it was like bringing up things that weren't even connected with what I was asking, or, you know, it would focus only on the one word that was in my prompt thing. And, you know, it could be very, very difficult for me to find what it was I was looking for. With AI, now you can just put in your question exactly as you want to put it. And AI has the ability to read that entire question and understand what you're asking for. And then you have the ability to refine that if it's not quite what you were looking for, you know, based on what results you receive, then you can refine it and say, oh, well, actually add this or delete this or blah, 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 whatever it is. So, but if this is not, if that still sounds too overwhelming for you, but you have a desire that you would like to start an online business, our program really helps to ease those challenges for you, because all of these aspects are included and taught in the program. You get the training, you get the automated system, you get the email, the funnel, all of that is all included in the system. Plus you get the community. And the only thing that's extra is getting the domain name, which is just, it's not a very large fee to get a domain name, but at any rate. But just remember, the key is to start small. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. Don't try to do more than you can do, because, you know, we all have lives, we all have different things that are our priorities or that we focus on. And it can be very difficult if we try and do too much. So, you know, take an analysis and see, what can I honestly and consistently commit to every day? Is it 15 minutes? Is it half an hour? Is it 2 hours? See what you can really commit to, because you're going to build your skills gradually. Some people can do it really, really quickly. They just grasp everything really fast and they can get themselves going. Other people, it can take a little bit more time. And remember, you don't have to be perfect right away. We have this tendency to compare ourselves to others and think we have to be achieving a certain kind of result within a certain period of time. We're all on our own journeys. So our journeys are all going to be very individual. But you will, excuse me, you will eventually see progress if you are able to stay consistent and committed. But if you have any other questions or would like any kind of further guidance, please put your questions in the comments. Please share any ideas you have in the comments. You know, you can always reach out to me directly as well. I'd love to help you on your journey. Together, we have the ability to grow to be amazing. So don't forget to, depending on where you're seeing this video, to subscribe or to follow so you can stay tuned for more insights and tips and updates on my journey. Take care for now.